Swinburne University of Technology.
The academic procession is about to enter the hall. Would you please stand? Please remain standing for the national anthem. The words are on the inside back cover of your program. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Mr. Bill Scales AO, Chancellor of Swinburne University of Technology.
Vice-Chancellor, members of the University Council, members of staff, distinguished guests, graduands of course, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Swinburne University of Technology, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this graduation and award conferral ceremony. We are very pleased that so many of you have been able to come today to attend this most special occasion. This ceremony acknowledges the academic and research achievements of our students and represents a very significant step in their process of lifelong learning. As a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, Swinburne University of Technology acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land where we now meet to conduct this most important of ceremonies. On the occasion of this ceremony, the Council and staff of the University wish to share their pride and their congratulations with all of the graduands on their achievement. For all of us, this is a very special occasion. For the graduands, of course, it means that it's the culmination of years of study, hard work, and of course now achievement. For the parents, families and friends of the graduands, it means that all of the sacrifices which you have made and all of the support which each of you have given to our graduands have now finally been rewarded. I'm sure that you, just like us, feel an enormous sense of pride and happiness in seeing your friend or your family member succeed in this most significant of ways. For the academic and administrative staff of the university, there is enormous satisfaction in seeing our students successfully complete their studies in this way. Of course, for us and the people that are sitting up here on this stage today, this is what we live for. We live for seeing people like this graduate in this way. So for us, this is not just an occasion. It's the culmination for us of years of dedication and work. And so we come to these celebrations with a great sense of satisfaction in seeing you succeed in this particular way. While this ceremony rightly celebrates the achievements of our students, it's also an important occasion for the university. Swinburne prides itself on the quality of the teaching and learning that it provides and, of course, the excellence of its research. This celebration gives public recognition of Swinburne's ongoing commitment to provide our students with a range of high-quality educational qualifications. These qualifications will undoubtedly assist them in making an ongoing contribution to their profession. But for Swinburne, just as importantly, it will enable them to make an ongoing contribution to their communities. Swinburne is committed to being a nationally and an internationally recognised institution where our education programs and our research are relevant to the world community as well as to Australia. We're committed to this because increasingly, and these graduates which you see in front of you today will be no exception to this rule, but increasingly our graduates are required to work outside of Australia and in many parts of the world. Quite frankly, most of them won't know where their careers will take them. And so we need to prepare them to be able to take their place in the world as international citizens, capable of being able to work everywhere and anywhere in the world. I now call upon Professor Margaret Mazzolini, Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Chair of the Academic Senate of Swinburne University of Technology, to address today's graduates.
Chancellor, guests and graduands, I would firstly like to acknowledge and welcome the lecturers, educators, supervisors, parents, families and friends of those graduating here today. We all know that you've played a crucial role in the academic success that we celebrate at this graduation ceremony. On behalf of Swinburne and today's graduands, I thank you for your encouragement, sacrifices and support, educational, financial and emotional. The university considers you all part of the Swinburne family, and we're extremely proud to do so. To those of you who are graduating here today, this day marks the completion of an important stage of your life. You now begin a journey that will take you all on different paths. My guess is that you're looking forward to the first day of the rest of your life with both excitement and uncertainty. As the Chancellor has said, the future for all of us is, of course, always uncertain, and our current graduates are being reminded daily of that in the news headlines. In these times of international financial uncertainty and growing realisation of the impact of climate change, all of us, even those in established careers, are aware that we're moving into uncharted waters. So what's the role for our Swinburne graduates in these very interesting of times? I've got a modest request for you, which is for you to use your education to change the future. After all, the mere fact of providing education access can change our world. I remember hearing of one important example while I was a child and then being reminded of it later on during a conference trip in Alabama. Back in 1963, two teenage black high school graduates, Vivian Malone and James Hood, were initially blocked for enrolling at the University of Alabama by the then Governor George Wallace, who was backed up by intimidating ranks of state troopers. This became known as the schoolhouse door event and helped hasten the death of institutionalised segregation in the southern United States. Vivian and James went on to use their education to make a difference in environmental protection and education, respectively, finally obtaining an honorary doctorate for Vivian and a PhD for James. Now, times do change, and the behaviour of individuals can change too. In latter life, Governor George Wallace said that while he'd once sought power and glory, he now realised he needed to seek love and forgiveness, and his history would suggest that this was more than just spin. After spending the middle of his career still actively supporting segregation, Wallace's last term as governor saw a record number of Afro-Americans appointed to government positions in his state of Alabama. And as a postscript, after her distinguished career, Vivian Malone was recognised with an Award of Courage by the Wallace Family Foundation. And as we know, 47 years later, an African-American, Barack Obama, is President of the United States. To use a well-known quote from another graduate, who is a law graduate from the University College London, but also a visionary change agent and the father of the modern Indian nation, Mahatma Gandhi said, "You must be the change you want to see in the world." Mahatma Gandhi was a great supporter of education for all Indians, though that didn't actually make him a fan of Western education. As some of you may know, he later said in life that by receiving English education, we have enslaved the nation. And when asked what he thought of Western civilization, he responded, "I think it'd be a good idea." None of us can know if Gandhi would have formed the same view now over 70 years later. However, of one thing I am sure, which is that the model of Western education he knew may have remained largely static for way too long, but is now evolving markedly in response to our rapidly changing world. For one thing, access to education is changing. For example, just under 1 million people were enrolled in Australian tertiary education institutes 4 years ago, including over 250,000 students from overseas. Over the previous decade, total enrolments had increased by 50% and overseas student numbers had trebled. They are currently under a cloud due to issues like federal legislation and the Australian dollar. International education is still Australia's largest services export and third largest export sector. Australian universities, including Swinburne, increasingly promote their international curricula. I'd be interested in receiving feedback from the graduates today on how international their learning experience has been at Swinburne. Certainly we're working hard at Swinburne to improve this and make good use of our collaborations with overseas universities and with our colleagues at Swinburne's Malaysian campus in Sarawak. I'm sometimes reminded of the changes I've seen when I think about international education. If I think back to international cuisine over my years in Melbourne, as a teenager, Melbourne attempts at international cuisine were too often made up of some Australians' hazy recollections of meals experienced while travelling somewhere overseas, but with the majority of the ingredients substituted haphazardly to suit local availability. Not good. However, now international cuisine in Melbourne is typically cooked by chefs from the countries concerned, and our markets carry ingredients sourced from around the world. In a somewhat similar way, universities like Swinburne are moving from a view that internationalised curriculum involves local staff adding a few international examples to their teaching here and there, to a curriculum that values the expertise of our international partners and, yes, of our international students, as well as the local context in which it's taught. And that's not before time. I'm firmly of the view that one key to solving some of the great international challenges we all face is the provision of learning without borders, which produces graduates whose contributions to their local contexts and cultures are enriched with a global perspective. However, while Australian education is increasingly reaching across national borders, the Australian university sector is also seeking to educate a wider range of students across socio-economic borders. For example, if we think about the likely educational paths taken by many of our Swinburne students, our graduates are likely to include those of you with a proud family tradition of tertiary education, either within Australia or in home countries, other trailblazers who are the first members of your family to undertake tertiary education, graduates being supported by the considerable commitment of their families here today, plus others who have struggled and succeeded in making their own way, those who live locally and those who've made the leap of faith to come to us from both rural locations and countries and cultures from around the world, students who come from secondary school, plus growing numbers who progress through pathways from technical and further institutions and overseas colleges, and others who are already established in their professions but are responding to changing industry imperatives and undertaking lifelong learning. This is a very different student profile to that many baby boomers, including myself, experienced during our tertiary education. However, we can still do much better. The percentage of Australian higher education students from low socioeconomic backgrounds has improved very little over the last 10 years, and a similar story can be told in higher level TAFE qualifications. This is a key issue that's been highlighted in a national review of Australian higher education, and it's an issue shared with most nations' education systems. In the next few years, Swinburne, together with other Australian universities, will be working with secondary schools to increase access and success for underrepresented student groups, and in particular to use our dual sector advantage to improve pathways and options within our own TAFE and higher education sectors. The form of education offered by our universities is also changing in response to industry and community needs, but also through a desire to offer a wider range of opportunities. Again, I'd be interested to hear from the graduates today whether they think the formal education provided here in the future will equip them with the tools to tackle that exciting and unknown future. Our graduates here come from distinctly different educational paths, including in terms of their disciplines. However, in this information age, discipline knowledge is evolving at an ever-increasing rate, and today's graduates from both TAFE and higher education are likely to move from role to role during their careers, again, as the Chancellor indicated. In the process, our graduates here will dip in and out of formal education during their careers, and we may well see them back undertaking further studies at Swinburne, and we'd be very pleased to do so. Recognising this, our teaching programs emphasise the skills that the graduates will need to exhibit just as much as the discipline knowledge they acquire, emphasising enabling skills like communications, teamwork, leadership, ability to diagnose and solve complex problems, do systematic planning and implementation, add the higher order skills that we all honed through life experience, but in particular through our education, such as critical analysis, evaluation, synthesis and creativity. When you combine your growing discipline expertise and the skills that you've developed so far, I'd argue that our graduates do have a toolkit not only to understand their discipline, but also to question the status quo creatively through their careers in order to help shape a better and more sustainable future. So my advice is to seize on the possibilities of that uncharted future, capitalise on the strengths of your education in order to respond creatively and effectively to the complexity and uncertainty I mentioned at the start. I'll finish by quoting the words of a great change agent who was admittedly expelled from his initial Bachelor of Arts studies for political activism, but who later undertook distance studies for a Bachelor of Laws while he had 27 years of spare time on his hands. As Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So congratulations, graduates, and best wishes for your future, whatever you make it to be.
Thank you very much, Professor Mazzolini. I now call upon Ms Jan McAdam, Associate Director of Client Services, to verify that the graduates listed in the program are in fact eligible to receive their awards here today.
Chancellor, I have the honour to inform you that in accordance with Statute 13 of Swinburne University of Technology, the graduates who will be presented at this ceremony or who have applied to have their award conferred in absentia have fulfilled the conditions prescribed and are entitled to the award of diploma, advanced diploma, bachelor degree and master degree as appropriate of Swinburne University of Technology.
Could I now ask all of the graduates to please rise for the conferral of awards? Graduates and everybody here present, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Swinburne University of Technology, I admit the duly authorised graduates here present and those in absentia to the appropriate awards and all of the rights and all of the privileges of those awards. Let me be the first to say well done and congratulations. Well done. Graduates, please take your seats. I'd now like to call upon Mr John Corley, the Executive Director of the TAFE School of Engineering, Technology and Trades, to present his graduates.
I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award. For Advanced Diploma of Computer Systems Engineering, Begum Balul. Wilhel Samanthi Alwis Parana Vitana. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the TAFE School of Engineering, Technology and Trades. On behalf of Mr Brad Hosking, the Executive Director of the School of Business, I have the honour to present you the graduates from the School of Business on whom have conferred an award. For the Diploma of Management, Priyanka Dhawan. For the Advanced Diploma of Accounting, Subhan Poyolath. King Fa Seod Om Pun. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the TAFE School of Business. On behalf of Ms. Ingrid Whitman, the Executive Director of the TAFE School of Creative and Service Industries, I have the honour to present to you the graduates from the TAFE School of Creative and Service Industries on whom you have conferred an award. For the Diploma of Conservation and Land Management, Roger Kiriogo Quito. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the TAFE School of Creative and Service Industries. On behalf of Ms. Dell Leslie, the Executive Director of the TAFE School of Health and Community, I have the honour to present you the graduates from the TAFE School of Health and Community on whom you have conferred an award. For the Diploma of Community Welfare Work, Camilla Unsi Kulpu Sami Chati. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the TAFE School of Health and Community. I now call upon Professor Ken Friedman, the Dean of the Faculty of Design, to present his graduates. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award. For the Bachelor of Design in Communication Design, Carolina Indrawati. Ka Kan Lao. Sylvia Laurent. Fai Sean Lee. Caroline Lim. Yiling Lim. Chen Yu Lin. Cynthia Marcelina. David Kusnadi Subroto. Orafan Suebyart. Irina Kirsti Suerman. Livia Sultana Hadi. Chu Ting Tan. Audrey Mirta Tejaseputra. Wendy Senkanya Kyawan. Beatrice Nga Yung Tsang. Hanai Suji. Wang Ki Yo, Su Yun Yu, Man Wai Yu, Nan Cheng, Eugene Se-Kin Lee, Pei Wen Lee, Joan Elisa Lee, Boon Chin Ng, Margaret Saw Hwai Ui, Li Shi, Zheng Wandi, for the Bachelor of Design in Interior Design, Shwu Wen Elvina Chong, Tan Mui Hako, Hui Wen Kang, Carolyn Chong Pitlin Kietiam, Nur Shahira Mohd Hamdan, Se-Ying Lau, Wei Li Ng, Joan Collins Hugh Fung Sim, Pei Woon Tan, Wei Chang Ti, Li Chin Karina Ter, Kai Xuan Yap, for the Bachelor of Design in Multimedia Design, Yu Sin Chang, Brian Kiwin Chia, Wing Fai Choi, Boon Ki Chong, Jessica, Yuen Lam Lung, Yuan Long Lian, Deo Ivan Maresa, Sasitha Devinda Pitiwala, Kai Sheng Tan, Avishek Sobi. Wei Lasiji. Sin Yi Wong. Chinwen Yap. For the Bachelor of Film and Television, Guangsu Chen. For the Bachelor of Design Honours in Industrial Design, Parmar Prijesh Jayantilal. For the Bachelor of Design Honours in Multimedia Design, Hendra Lawono. For the Master of Design in Communication Design, King Kai. Luis Felipe Gonzalez Gomez. Tomas Leminto. Huijin Mao. Yogi Oyono. Mandy Richter. Iwan Sutanto. Da Yi. Yuan. For the Master of Design in Industrial Design, Albert Kurniawan. For the Master of Design in Interior Design, Senming Chia. Hatanan Ma Hayodgul. Tanbao Nguyen. Christopher Kwet Leong Tuyap. For the Master of Design in Multimedia Design, Weiling Chu. Yorun Nemo. Melissa Yogini Virapan. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Design. I now call upon Professor Russell Crawford, the Dean of the Faculty of Life and Social Sciences, to present his graduates.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award. For the Bachelor of Arts, Carmen Au. Pichayapat Chongchit. Sankalp Mahindra. Wei Keng Tham. For the Bachelor of Arts in Games and Interactivity, Yit Keng Ku. For the Bachelor of Arts in Media and Communications, Pei Zi Chai. For the Bachelor of Multimedia, Hua Fong Chin. Sakarati Vatana Siriporn. Jinan Zhao. Ren Zeng. For the Bachelor of Multimedia in Business Marketing, Hue Wen Hu. For the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology, Zhen Ni Fong. Sampatha Waduga Nadisha Dayangi Silva. Melani Ashinsala Walpita Gamaga. For the Bachelor of Social Science, Alijit Pamatnak. For the Bachelor of Social Science in Community Health, Aina Tongam. For the Master of Arts in Media and Communications, Naoko Masuda. Bin Duong Pham. For the Master of Multimedia, Suvinai Ithipak. Kanokwan Layam Nue. Yiqing Zhang. For the Master of Multimedia Technology, Lawan Chivoroko. Sandesh Mahalingappa. Purithas Matavan. Nok Min Nguyen. Saji Sukumaran. For the Master of Science in Biotechnology, Dipti. Sandeep Kumar Achyuta. Janani Kadavasal Rajagopalan. Samita Daupamu. Amardeep Kaur. Priya Rajagopal. Sabarna Rajaraman. Pavesh Saini. Nisha Singh. Aditya Avinash Verka. Singhao Wong. Shashi Kiran Yapaldini. For the Master of Science in Good Manufacturing Practices, Nawang Dama. Ramakrishnan Lashmanan Iya. Sushil Khatri. For the Master of Science Honours in Good Manufacturing Practices, Shruti Challa. Ronak Rajeshkumar Patel. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Life and Social Sciences. I now call upon Mr. Sankalp Mahendra, who graduated today with a Bachelor of Arts, to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of University Council, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Today, each student in this room has reached the end of their journey. We are all here to celebrate our graduations. On behalf of the graduating students, I would sincerely like to thank everyone who has supported us on our way. From the very beginning, we have felt like the part of the university community. Swinburne has a fantastic reputation, not only for its standards of teaching, but for its close, supportive environment. The staff at Swinburne especially deserves a thanks for their assistance over the years. Every student here has been taught by people with a passion for what they do. We must also thank our classmates for accompanying us on this journey. It has been a privilege to share the classroom with people aiming for the same goals. But it's not just assignments and exams that make up a degree. It is also about growing as a person, something we could not have done without the invaluable support of our friends and families. Through all the challenges and rewards, they have been there for us, helping us fit in some leisure time, offering financial assistance, and listening to us. For all of us, this is a very proud moment and something we have worked towards for a number of years. We are honored to have you here with us today, celebrating your success. Now, as we look at starting new journeys, we acknowledge those who have contributed to our studies. The knowledge, friendships, and experience we have gained during our time at Swinburne will help us succeed on whichever path we choose. To my fellow students, congratulations and good luck for the future.
And thank you, Sankalp. To Swinburne graduates, I know that today is the culmination of years of hard work and that during this time you've had the encouragement and help of family and friends. Of course, so many of them are here today to celebrate with you this great occasion. On yours and the university's behalf, I wish to thank them for their support of you during your studies here at Swinburne, and of course for being here today to see you graduate. I am sure that they, just like us, are very proud of all that you have achieved. Graduates, what I'm now going to do is to ask you to please stand, turn and face your families and friends, and then join with me in a loud applause to thank them for all that they've done for you. Let's applaud them, graduates. Thank you, graduates. Please resume your seats. Thank you. Graduates, also on your behalf, I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't, on your behalf, ask all of the academic staff and administrative staff to please stand, and let's applaud them for all that they've done for you while you've been here at Swinburne. Let's applaud them, please. Very much. Graduates, I do hope that you will consider that this is really only the beginning of a lifelong association with us here at Swinburne. Education is a continuing process, and I do hope that many of you will return to Swinburne to further your studies with us. I would also encourage you to participate in the activities of the Swinburne Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has groups in many parts of the world. So even if many of you are leaving us here in Melbourne, you can continue your participation with us through the Swinburne activities through the Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, before we leave today, there is one other thing I need to do. Today is actually a very special graduation. And that is because our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Young, is leaving Swinburne to go and become Vice-Chancellor of the Australian National University. And so this is the last of his graduation with us. Ian and I were talking earlier, and I think Ian was probably been at around about 100 graduations or thereabouts over the past 7 years that he's been with us. And it is appropriate that we say goodbye to Ian at a graduation like this, because I doubt that many of you graduates here today would have met Professor Ian Young, but his influence has been all-pervading over almost everything that you've done. For example, most of you wouldn't be aware, but Professor Young was instrumental in making sure that all of the facilities that you've been using while you've been here at Swinburne have been clearly well maintained, upgraded, so that you can learn well here at Swinburne. You also see some of the other activities and some of the inspiration that Ian Young has brought to the university with. You see some of those wonderful buildings along Burwood Road here. These are the inspiration of Professor Ian Young. Some of the things that you won't see, of course, is some of the other ways by which Professor Young has affected your education. For example, almost from the day that he arrived here at Swinburne 7 years ago, he made sure that the people who were lecturing you, who were tutoring you, who were teaching you, continued to advance their studies so that they could give you an even better education. So even though you may not have noticed it, Professor Ian Young was right behind what you were doing and how you were getting that education. Professor Ian Young was also right behind those of you who have graduated today from our TAFE programs, because he is passionate about making sure that those people in our TAFE programs have the opportunity, if they wish, to progress through their education to get a higher degree. Professor Young has also been, in another way, pervasive in your education. There are things that you wouldn't even know that go on. For example, he's been determined to make sure that little things work well. For example, there was a time when we weren't providing you with the sort of facilities that you could use when you were simply wanting to eat on the campus. Ian was determined to make sure that we did that well. He was also determined to make sure that if any of you had a grievance with the university, that you would be treated with utmost respect and that we addressed your grievance in the best possible way. So not only was he building great buildings that you could use while you're here at Swinburne, he was making sure that the day-to-day things that really affect your life in a very practical way were operating in the way that you would expect them to do. At another level, Professor Young has also been making sure that that testimonial that you each have in your hand actually increases in value every day. You would have heard us talk about the fact that Swinburne University now is one of the top 500 universities in the world. Let me help you to understand what that means. We have something like about 12 or 13,000 universities in the world. We are amongst the top 500. What does that mean? It means that we are in the top 5% of the best universities in this world. What does that mean for this testimonial? It means that for every employer that you go to, it means that they will look at that testimonial and be able to say that this person has been educated in an institution that values research, that values high quality education, teaching, learning and scholarship. And they will be able to say that because of the outstanding leadership of Professor Ian Young. So what I'm going to do is something a little unusual. Because this is Ian's last day with us, I'm actually going to ask each of you to stand. I'm going to ask you to applaud the work of Professor Ian Young on behalf of the thousands of students that have been here at Swinburne since Professor Young came. Let's applaud Professor Ian Young. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm also going to do one quite unusual thing here today. It's quite traditional that when we leave the audience, when we leave this forum, I normally lead everybody out. I'm actually going to ask Professor Young to lead us out today. But with those couple of words, can I say thank you all for being here. It's been a delight to be able to preside over this wonderful occasion. I do hope that all of the graduates will think about coming back to Swinburne. We want you to continue your education and we want you to do it with us. So thank you again and have a great Christmas. Thank you.
On behalf of members of Council and the university community, I invite you to join us for refreshments, which will be served in the Chandelier Room. Would you now please stand while the official party, academic procession and procession of graduates leave the hall.
This has been a Swinburne production.